what is up, guys, and welcome back to Technically Steve. Today we continue our search for the perfect meatball sandwich, and we're heading up to a place in Delaware called Two Cousins. Not one, but Two Cousins. Let's check it out. So we are now headed to Two Cousins. I know it's GPS has us around, and should be right in here. Oh, and there it is. And welcome back, and we have our meatball sandwich, and I'm excited. So we went to a place called, as I said, Two Cousins to continue our search for the perfect meatball sandwich. It's tough to find a good meatball sandwich, very tough, and I'm looking for something with perfect bread, perfect homemade meatballs. I don't like those processed meatballs. Cheese melted. And let's go. We went to a place called Two Cousins all the way up in Delaware. And let's hopefully, this trip's not for nothing. Place got good reviews. And here's the sandwich. It's very heavy. Let's open it up. Let's check it out. So here you go. Here's your sandwich. It, first of all, it's not made with regular, very cheesy. And I think I meant one of the Cousins too. There's the meatball inside of it. It's made with like a pita. So is the meatball real? Meatball's gotta be real. All right, so I have to give this some pretty good marks for the meatball. The meatball seems to be definitely homemade and not out of Acme. Very cheesy. My problem with it, and it's not much of a problem, is the pita roll. I looking for the perfect meatball sandwich. I think I want to go for the nice Italian roll that's been toasted with the Parmesan cheese. So this is good. I would have to rate this on meatball sandwiches, 5 being average, for the fact that it has homemade meatballs, and you can tell. And what I give Wawa, because Wawa is, ugh. I mean, Wawa isn't bad, but nothing compared to this. I'm gonna have to give this a 7.4 on the scale between of 1 to 10, because it's actually pretty good. The meatball is delicious. Now, the place is called Two Cousins, and I think, pretty sure I met one of the cousins in there. Now, what happens if one of the cousins decides he doesn't want to be in business anymore? What do they call it? Do they call it cousin? I mean, can't call it one cousin, because who are you a cousin of? It has to be two cousins. Something to think about. So I think it was well worth my trip. well worth my trip up here to Delaware for a nice meatball sandwich. But I'm going to continue. I am going to continue my quest for the perfect meatball sandwich. And that all stems from back when I was years ago, about 20 years ago. I took it for granted. I took it for granted. I used to go to lunch at this old Italian place. It was owned by these two old women who used to make the meatball sandwiches. It was the best meatball sandwich, and I have not had one since. Not had one since. They used to call me on the phone and say, "Hey, Steve, I have the meatball." I got the meatball. It was delicious. They went out of business or died or something like that. The place closed up, and I was left without meatball sandwiches anymore. And come on, really? I couldn't give the recipe to somebody? They just leave? So, again, I come up here in the rain, very rainy day. Getting to Delaware is tough because all the bridges, all the roads, there's like road construction on every road. How are you supposed to travel with road construction on every road? But back to the meatball sandwich. I give it high grades for the meatball. Not 100% a fan of the pita. I mean, why a pita? Why not rolls? I mean, supposedly they make their own pitas, so it's a delicious pita. It's just I want a meatball roll. That's what I want. So my quest will continue, and thanks for joining me. And we will soon stop and try another. If you have a place where you want me to try, by all means, put it in the description. Thank you for joining, and subscribe, hit the like button, thumbs up, hit that little notification thing so you know. Technically, Steve does something, it pops up. Pops up. And I have another channel also that I'm moving my tech reviews to. This way I can focus this channel on good eating and my tech on the tech. And I will, in my next video, let you know what that is and give you a link to it, and hope you join me there. I have a few videos there already, ready to go, and yeah, I'm looking forward to having a couple channels. And yeah, thanks so much, and we will see you shortly back on Technically Steve.